Okay,
Cool,
now
cool.
clap.
Okay. Yeah. Maximize. Yeah, share screen plus this one. Can you see? Can you see the screen?
No.
Not yet. Do you share screen?
Yeah, I thought I put share screen. Didn't I?
Nope, we do not see your share screen.
Aiyo.
Do you need me to
Oh,
share?
I see this one. And then share.
Okay.
Yes, it's starting now.
Hmm.
You go to the first page again.
This one. Okay.
The first page is the second
First page.
This
This
is
is
my
the last page.
This is
this
the
is my
last.
first page. I changed to Namo Buddhaya. No lah, I add in Namo Buddhaya lah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So shall we start now?
Yes.
We are waiting for you.
Yeah, waiting for me. Okay lah, Namo Buddhaya everybody. Bandami, Bante, and Suki Hontu Dhamma friends. So first we bow 3 times to welcome Venerable Adhibalo. So let's do it. First bow, second bow, then third bow. Welcome to Metta Lodge, UNDUVAP New Moon Uposatha Day, a day of Dana, Sila, and Bhavana. I'm Yen, your MC for this session. Please allow me to give a brief introduction of Venerable Adhibalo, or more popularly known as Bante Phra. Bante received Bhikkhu ordination into the Theravada tradition of Thai Dhamma youth set at Santi Forest Monastery in Johor. In 2013, he became a youth member of the inter-religious organization in Singapore, and subsequently he became the religious advisor to Buddhist Youth Network, religious advisor to Singapore Polytechnic Buddhist Society, and this year religious advisor to Nanyang Polytechnic Buddhist Society. Now for today's program, after this brief introduction, we look at the Uposatha program, and then there'll be an opening speech by our chairman. After that, they will give a briefing on the 8 and 5 precept. Then we will have homage to the triple gem, where Bante will administer the 5 precept and the 8 precept. Sister Doris Cole will take the 5 precept, and Sister May and Brother Stephen Wong the 8 precept on behalf of all participants. After that, we'll have at 9:30 a short Dhamma talk by Bante, and he will give a self-meditation instruction, and we will break up for self-practice. 4:30 p.m. there'll be a Dhamma talk by Bante for our topic is how can we lay people practice towards attaining Sotapatti in this very life? What must we do in our daily life, and what is the area of focus? Followed by Q&A, and then we will break up again. The evening session will start at 7:30, where we will have new moon chanting, dedication of merits, sharing of merits, and Q&A session. followed by our special Voices of Harmony. And we'll end the session with parting words from Bhante and our chairman. Now, I shall call upon our chairman to deliver his opening speech. Over to you, Brother Lin.
Namo Buddhaya, Wandami Pante, Sukihantu, brothers and sisters from near and far. Welcome to Metta Lodge, Pusat Buddhist Johor. Today is UNDUVAP, New Moon Uposatha. Let us emulate the life of an Arahant on this auspicious day by observing the 8 precepts. Let us venerate UNDUVAP New Moon Uposatha by practicing generosity, observing precepts, and above all, dedicate this day to the practice of meditation to purify our minds. Let us walk hand in hand in this noble eightfold path, as spiritual friendship is the whole of the spiritual life. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And may the merits accrued on this auspicious day be the causes and conditions for spiritual progress in the noble eightfold path. Anumodantu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Brother Lim. Bhante, now I'll hand over to you to commence our morning chanting and administer the 5 and 8 precepts. Sister Doris is from Sramban Buddhist Vihara. She'll take the Namo Tassa, 3 refuges, and 5 precepts after Bhante. And Sister May Wong and Brother Stephen Wong from New Zealand will take the 8 precepts on behalf of all participants. Okay? So without further ado, we'll put our hands together in Anjali to welcome Bhante by saying sadhu 3 times. Everybody? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, thank you, Sister Yen, for the introduction. So, good morning, everyone. Hope all of you are fresh for the retreat. So we start off with a bit of this introduction, or rather briefing. We do a puja first or briefing first?
Up to Bhante.
Okay, so we do a morning puja first. Do some chanting, then followed by some briefing of the precepts, followed by taking of the precept, 3 refuge and precepts. Okay, so we start off with the morning puja. Yeah, so we give 3 bows to the Buddha. First bow, second bow, third bow. Okay, homage. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
And the 3 refuges. Okay, so we are going to maybe a short explanation before we chant. Is that if a person wants to become a Buddhist or rekindle their faith in Buddhism, they need to remind or recall the 3 refuges, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. So Buddha being the founder of the religion, or depends on some of the interpretation. Some people will think Buddha is also a state of mind, an enlightened state of mind. and Dhamma being the teachings, the path leading to this purity of mind, and the Sangha, community of practitioners. Yeah, so the community of practitioners who sort of practice and achieve certain realization. So like the talk this afternoon actually requested by Brother Lim, how to become a Sotapanna. Eh? So the Sangha is actually this path to Sotapanna all the way to this Arahant. So these are the whole spectrum of Sangha. So it can be from a layperson to a monastic. Yeah, so these are the three refuges. It's in quality, it's not to a particular person. Yeah, so whenever we practice, we aim for this ideal. So these three refuges are the ideals that we strive for. Okay, so we start the chant, three refuges. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Second time, Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Sanghang saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
And the third time, Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Sanghang saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Okay, and next is the portion of the 5 precepts and 8 precepts. So we chant the 5 precepts first, but before that, again, it's my duty to explain what are the 5 precepts. These are like training rules for a person to practice as a lay Buddhist. So a person can say, oh, I'm a Buddhist. What do you do? I still kill, I still steal, I still commit all the lying and sexual misconduct and drinking alcohol. So if there is no standard, there's no ethical guidelines, then it's just lip service. Lip service to the triple jet. So the Buddha said to honor the Buddha, it is also to practice the path. So by observing these 5 precepts, we are actually practicing this Dhamma Vinaya. And both Dhamma and the Vinaya. Dhamma means the teachings and Vinaya being the precepts. So by observing these precepts, like example, the first one, to refrain from killing, one is actually training the mind to reduce aversion. Normally we see something we don't like a mosquito or some any kind of animal or insect, then we dislike, then we want to kill. There's aversion. Or sometimes greed. You're hungry, you want to eat the animal, then you go and kill. So this is to prevent or reduce this greed and aversion. So this is the whole idea of the precept. So same thing with the stealing, right? Refrain from stealing to reduce this greed. Anything that's not yours, you don't take it. And the third one, refrain from sexual misconduct. So everyone here is No children here. Okay, so don't cheat on your partners if you are married. And what else constitutes the sexual misconduct? If a person is engaged, right, do not have these relations with them, sexual relations with them. Also, if a person is underage, if they are still under this parental or guardian's guardianship, then you cannot have these sexual relations with them. So basically, or anything that's against the law. So very interesting. So the Vinaya also includes the secular law, society's law. So let's say a certain country, let's say they don't allow, let's say same-sex marriage or same-sex relation, then no, if possible, try to avoid that. So refrain from this sexual misconduct. And the fourth one, try to refrain from telling lies. Telling lies. So if a person is going to practice honesty, train this honesty, and you don't want to create trouble for yourself and others, then you refrain from telling lies. And if you want to practice more, you can expand. Harsh speech is also not telling the truth. Even it is factually true, once you raise your voice, no longer Dhamma. No longer Dhamma, because it doesn't lead to peace. It brings aversion to yourself and also others. So the truth here has many levels. So the truth means leading to inner peace. So it's not just factually true, also lead to inner peace. So the first one, avoid false speech. Second, avoid harsh speech. Third, avoid this idle gossip. Anything under the sun, you just say. If it is for social interaction, ice breaking, at least you have a purpose, and there must be a purpose in mind. If there's no purpose in mind and you just babble, then draining for yourself brings suffering to yourself and others, and can be create this irritation to others. And the fourth one, avoid this divisive speech. Divisive speech, anything that split up communities, split up groups, avoid saying. So these are the four kinds of speeches that lead to the truth, the inner peace truth. And the last one, which is refrain from intoxicants, intoxicating drinks and drugs. So anything that is harmful to the body, sometimes we may think it's entertainment or social function. Drink a bit, okay lah. Not true, So harmful to the liver, harmful to the brain, goes to the bloodstream, and lots of organs get affected. So please, if you can avoid, try to refrain. And that's it for the 5 precepts. So we chant this first. So the 5 precepts can follow. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesu miccācara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesu miccācara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Sura meraya macca pamadatana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surameraya Majja Pamadatana Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Okay, so now the second portion is for the 8 preceptors. Yeah, 8 preceptors. So there are the 5 precepts mostly the same except for the third one. For 5 preceptors is this Kamesu Michachara. So for the 8 preceptors, it will be this Abrahmacharya. So it changes from avoid sexual relations to be unfaithful. We change it to Abrahmacharya, yeah, which is to avoid the sexual activity at all. Yeah, to be a chaste person. For those taking for one day, at least a day. If you wish to continue, extend by all means. Yeah, so this for the third precept, and the 3 more precepts at the end. We have this, I think, number 6 precept. Yeah, Vikala Bhojana means refrain taking food after 12. Meals after 12. So this food depends on context. It means, yeah, at least in the India's ancient times, there are certain food that's classified as food. There are certain food that are classified as medicine. And somehow it's allowed to take in the afternoon, like honey, ghee, butter, molasses, anything that is, according to Indian medicine, that is classified as medicine. Huh? And so the food here refers to all your normal vegetables and meat, rice, all these are considered food. Huh? So the proper time to take it is from daybreak to noontime. Daybreak to noontime. Huh? So you need to eat before, or to finish eating before 12 noon. So no rush. Yeah, we end at 10:30 afterwards. So no need to rush for your meal. Have to take your time, eat mindfully. Don't stuff everything. Some people think, oh yeah, no, after 12 noon cannot eat already. Yeah, then dinner time also include inside. So have double, triple intake. So don't torture your stomach. So you take what is necessary, because it's a retreat. So afternoon time you need to meditate or listen to Dhamma talk later. So if you eat until too full, and you end up sleeping. Yeah. So the whole day for this Uposatha is sleeping. Sleeping Uposatha. So people say sleeping never break precept. You sleep, never tell lies, never kill, never steal. You lie down the whole day. So no, not like that. So whole idea of the observing the precepts, that is to train our mind and purify the mind. It's not to become idle and sleep. Huh? Okay, so number 7, this refrain from entertainment. Yeah? This dancing, singing, music, seeing shows, entertainment shows, especially wearing luxurious or beautiful, over beautifying cosmetics, perfumes, ornaments, garlands. So we avoid all these things. That means live in simplicity. Live in simplicity. The whole idea of meditation is to refrain clinging to sensual desire. So anything that makes you appearances or any forms, any contact that is sensual in nature, we try to avoid. Yeah, if theoretically, by right, when we have experienced a contact, we're supposed to contemplate and not cling. But not everybody have this Kung Fu, not everybody at this level. So first step, we need to avoid these entertainment. How about browsing Facebook? There's a question. If your the post or the feed is news related, it's okay, but if it's not entertainment, try to avoid. Yeah, try to avoid seeing entertainment as possible, right? So Facebook can be quite time consuming. You know? If you want to go through your feed and start to set the options, this post or this feed is you don't want to see it, you want to remove it or not follow it, it might take a long time. So we try to avoid using as much as possible unless when it's necessary. During certain admin time, you need to update or you need to check on with certain people, then you use for a while, that's okay. Then the last one, Uposatha, this one is to avoid luxurious beds and seats. So same thing, we practice minimalism. Minimalism, not to be too comfortable. Recently, I saw a video, a short talk from a Thai monk, his explanation of sleeping on mattresses. The reason is, if it's not too comfortable, you naturally want to get up. If it's too comfortable and the mattress too thick, too soft, too nice, once the alarm rings, you still want to lie down. So nice. You just want to lie down and sleep. But if it's just a flat mattress, you want to get up straight away because it's not comfortable. So you get up straight away and you're very disciplined. So I think it's a very practical explanation, which is very interesting. But for older folks, according to the Vinaya, it's allowable for the bed to have a certain height. We say knee height, so that it's convenient for your knees. If you want to squat down or kneel down, sometimes not so convenient if you're older, so we can allow the bed frame to be until the knee height, so that it's easier for you to sit down. Yeah, so but the mattress itself, and depending on your body also, we try not to make it too comfortable. If you don't have any bone issues, you don't have any physiotherapy requirements, then we keep it simple. Okay, so that's more or less about it. Then we're going to chant the 8 precepts. So for those 8 precepts, you can follow. Anatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Anatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Brahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surameraya majapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surameraya majapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Vikala bhojana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Vikala bhojana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Very long. Nacha gita vadita visuka datsana mala gandha vilepana dharana mantana vibhusanatana เวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาดิยามิ
นาจากิตาวาดิตาวิสุขะดัสสนามาลากันดาวิเลภานาดารณามันดานาวิบุสานาธานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาดิยามิ
อุจจาสยนามหาสยนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาดิยามิ
อุจจาสยานามหาสยานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาดิยามิ
Okay, so that ends the 5 and 8 precepts. So we finished administering the 3 refuges and the precepts. So now it's the morning chanting. Yeah? So we start off with the salutation to the Buddha. Iti piso bhagava araham samma sambuddho vijajarana sampano sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasarati satha deva manusanang buddho bhagavati. Salutation to the Dhamma. Swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akadiko ehipasiko opanayiko pachatang meditambo vinyuhiti. Salutation to the Sangha. Supatipano bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipano bhagavato savaka sangho Nyayapatipano bhagavato savaka sangho Samicipatipano bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidan cattari purisa yugani Ata purisa pugala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo Dakineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttaram punya ketan lokasati. So we dedicate merits for this morning chanting portion. Yeah? Uposatha Puja Devanaga Mahitika Punyang Tang Anumoditva Chirang Rakantu Sasanang Chirang Uposatha Puja Devanaga Mahitika Punyang Tang Anumoditva Chirang Rakantu Desanang Uposatha Puja Devanaga Mahitika Punyang Tang Anumoditva Chirang Rakantu Mang Taranti. Okay, and the next another dedication. Etavata Chamhehi Sampada Punya Sampada Sabbe Deva Sabbe Puta Sabbe Sata Anumodantu Sabba Sabbati Siddhiya. Asking for forgiveness. Kayena vacha chitena pamadena maya kata vachayang kamame pante puripanya tathagata. Kayena vacha chitena pamadena maya kata vachayang kamame pante puripanya tathagata. Kayena vacha chitena pamadena maya kata Vachayang kamame pante puripanya tathagata. And transference of merits to departed. Idam minyatina hotu sukita hotu nyatayo. Idam minyatina hotu Sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam inyatina hontu. Sukita hontu nyatayo. And aspiration. Imina punya kamina mami bala samagamo. Satang samagamo hontu. Yavani bala patiya. Okay, so that's the end of the morning chanting. So now it's the Dhamma sharing and also meditation, right? And since it's a whole day supposedly meditation retreat, just to see a show of hands, how many of you are first timers for this Uposatha? First time having like a retreat. Okay, only one person. Okay, so no worries. And okay, another person. Okay, how many of you first time meditating? Also one person. Okay, a few person first time meditating. Okay, so since we are first time, then it's good to give we say on the go, on spot, practical guided meditation. That means we guide while giving the guiding. There's also some Dhamma sharing. So first and foremost, it's important to find a comfortable sitting position. If you're doing a formal sitting, make sure your back is upright and you're seated comfortably. So if you're new to meditation, don't have to force yourself to sit full lotus. We are not here to torture yourself. Make sure you find a comfortable seat. You can be sitting on a chair, no problem. So this is for official class, for formal training. But if you want to talk about mental cultivation as a whole, meditation can be done in any posture. Standing, sitting, walking, or lying down. In all the activities, we also can meditate. Right? So the whole idea of meditation is about applying right thought. It's part of the Eightfold Path, right thought. And before we continue, we must know the goal of this meditation is to overcome suffering and overcoming craving. So very important. There's many ways to overcome suffering. You want to overcome old age, some people got circular method. Go see beauty specialists, overcome old age. And if you want to overcome sickness, go see a doctor, overcome sickness. So this is mundane method. I'm not saying avoiding all those, but if you want to talk about spiritual way of overcoming suffering, that means to reduce this emotional conflict, emotional this frustration and anxiety, then it's good to look inward and reduce craving, which is the cause of this suffering, right? And the antidote of this craving is actually right thought, non-greed, non-hatred. Thoughts of non-greed, thoughts of non-hatred. So this will be the theme in our meditation. Throughout the whole meditation, I'll repeat this mantra over and over again. Please have right thought, have right thought. So we can start, relax your whole body. If you want, you can close your eyes. So there are many kinds of meditation subjects. So for this guided session, we will be using a few. So the first object of meditation is called this Asubha meditation, impurities of the body meditation. Basically, it's human biology and anatomy kind of visualization, but we want to keep it family friendly, so we don't have to do the entire body, just do the external parts of the body. So we're going to visualize the hairs in your mind. You can visualize the hairs from head to toe, all the hairs. So any untrained person, when we think of anything or we have contact with anything, the mind will go to the extreme, either greed or hatred. Yeah, so example, greed means, oh, my hair is so nice, I like my hair, I like this fashion, so beautiful. So you have greed, there's liking. And if the mind gears towards hatred, then for example, oh, then the image you see, you don't like it. No, I don't like this fashion, or the hair, so ugly, so messy. No, then you have aversion, so greed or hatred. So these are the two extremes that cause suffering, make the mind imbalance. So you want to practice Buddhism, you say practice the middle way. So the middle way is not 50% of both. So middle way is avoiding both extremes, avoiding greed, avoid hatred. That is where the Eightfold Path comes in, where you apply the right thought, overcome hatred first. So we have loving kindness to the hair, we wish all the hairs well and happy. So when you think of the hairs of the head, wish it well and happy. Make peace with the hair. It's important to keep your head upright to prevent this neck or back injury. And next we can, or every time we think of a new patch of hair from head to toe, we wish it well and happy. So it is called right effort, consistency. It is not just think one time, well and happy, and that's it, over. Then the next moment you'll be daydreaming. All kinds of stray thoughts will come in, and it becomes a sleeping meditation. So that's not what we want. So meditation is a training. Not a forceful kind of training, but we call it very repetitive. It has a very consistent kind of training. So every moment we think of a new patch of hair, new portion, new contact, we wish it well and happy. So the whole idea is never leave the mind autopilot, never leave the mind idle. There is saying, an idle mind is the workshop for the devil. So the more you generate this loving kindness, the mood or the emotion should be quite say more pleasant and more peaceful. And once you are in this frame of mind, this state of mind, then it is conducive to reflect on the truth. Now we're going to reflect on impermanence. So this thought is to overcome the extreme of greed, which is the other craving, other extreme. So all these hairs go through birth, aging, sickness, and passing away. So you think of hairs growing and falling, many, many cycles of birth and death. No need to over-imagine or over-dramatize. Don't need to think of how you shower or how you comb your hair. And just think of hairs growing and falling. So the more cycles, the merrier. Eh? If there is inner peace or inner joy, that's the symptoms that you're on the right track. So if you straight away start to, before doing loving kindness, you want to jump into impermanence, you want to reflect on truth straight away, and that is truth of suffering. You experience birth and death, and if your mind is not in the right frame to receive this truth, then the mind will just feel stressed. You'll just be experiencing suffering, and you have suffering meditation. So your mind needs to be softened and ready before you think of impermanence. And we can ask ourselves, are these hairs or the mental factors associated with the hairs, are they truly self? So in this visualization, contemplation, we are not training the hair. Yeah? The hair is not going to change into anything. We are actually learning to let go of this mental cognitive process. So throughout this whole duration, the process, what are your feelings like? No? Are your feelings always the same when you see the hair growing old and falling off? And are they pleasant or unpleasant? Are they neutral kind of feelings? And is the perception, it means the labels you give to cognize an object, call this young hair, or long hair, old hair, white hair, all these are labels. That's all the labelings are called perception. And the fourth, another aspect called the fourth aggregate is called mental formations. Every time you think a new aging process of the hair, that is a new mental formation. Or a new thought, that is new mental formation. And consciousness, basically, when you visualize the hairs, that is using a mind door consciousness. Mind door consciousness. You're not seeing with your eyes, you're using your imagination. The mind door consciousness. So is this consciousness, your attention always the same? Are they trying to run away, trying to think of other things, pay attention to another thing? So we can ask ourselves, are these hairs or the mental factors associated with the hairs, are they truly self? Are they truly you? Can you tell the hairs not to go through birth and death? If it's truly yours, you can tell them not to grow old like that, not to fall off. And the next part of the body, we are going to visualize the nails, fingernails and toenails. We wish them well and happy. And all these nails go through birth, aging, sickness, and passing away. So they grow long and they fall off, and they keep growing and passing away. So you think of the birth and death process of the nails many, many times. And we can reflect and ask ourselves, are the nails, are the mental factors associated with the nails, are they truly self? And you tell them not to go through birth and death. And next we can visualize the teeth, all the teeth inside the mouth. May they be well and happy. All the upper rows of teeth and all the lower rows of teeth, may they be well and happy. And all these teeth go through birth, aging, sickness, and passing away. And we can think of the birth and death of the teeth many, many times. But teeth can fall off the most twice only, so you can think of the bone cells of the teeth replenishing, growing and falling many, many times, wear and tear. can ask ourselves, are these teeth or the mental factors associated with the teeth, are they truly self? Can we tell them not to go through birth and death? And next we can think of the skin. You visualize the skin from head to toe. You wish all the skin well and happy. So the skin is quite a large area. So every time we think of a new patch of skin, we wish it well and happy. And all this skin and go through birth, aging, sickness, and passing away. And we think of the skin growing and falling many, many times, many cycles, birth and death. The more the merrier. And we can ask ourselves, are this skin truly self? Can we tell the skin not to go through birth and death? And the second part of meditation we are now cultivating are the four sublime states: loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy, and equanimity. So for this routine, there is no need to deliberately visualize. We are just feeling the sensation, feeling sensations. So when we wish now all beings in front, well and happy. So basically any sensation in front that appears, we just wish it well and happy. Yeah, no need to speculate what are those beings in front. And there's no way to visualize all sentient beings. So when we just extend our attention in front, no need to push, as a gentle wish, whatever the mind can cover, all the beings that is embraced in that attention will be encompassed. Yeah? Okay, then we come back to ourselves, and now we wish all beings behind well and happy, sending all sensations behind well and happy. So this one is real-time observation. Any sensation that appear, this is real-time. Huh? No need to imagine. And come back to ourselves, and we wish all beings on the left well and happy. And we come back to ourselves, then we wish all beings on the right well and happy. And we come back to ourselves. And now we wish all beings above well and happy. And we come back to ourselves, and we wish all beings below well and happy. And we come back to ourselves. So this time round, we feel the entire body sensations well and happy. And whatever sensation that arises, we wish it well and happy. So these sensations can be generally classified as the four elements: earth, fire, wind, and water. So earth element represents any hard and soft sensations. Fire element represents any warm and cold sensations. Wind element represents any fast and slow movements. And water element represents any moist or dry sensation. So there's no need to purposely control those sensations, no need to deliberately generate them. Let it arise naturally by itself. You just observe them, treat them as passerby, and wish them well and happy. Yeah? No clinging, no rejecting. But it's also part of mindfulness of the body's four elements. Every time a new sensation arises, you need to repeat the wish, well and happy. New sensation arises, repeat, well and happy. And we call this spinning the Dhamma wheel. Eightfold path, you need to keep the wheel rolling. Once you stagnate only, stop the wheel, experience a certain nice sensation, whatever sensation it is. It can be a maybe sleepy sensation, very nice. You just stay with for a while only and gone case. And it's like a bicycle wheel. Once you stop pedaling, and the bicycle will follow. You need to keep the wheel rolling, keep generating the right thought, wishing well and happy for every sensation. And once the mind is quite peaceful, and we can take note of this state of mind. Now it's a restricted form of loving kindness, and now it can extend to a larger area. We're going to train a more boundless kind of loving kindness. So now we're going to wish, may all beings in all directions, above, below, and all across, may they be well and happy. So again, no need to purposely push your attention, let it extend naturally by itself. However far the mind wants to extend, then that will be your universe. Yeah? And within that field of attention, same thing, whatever sensation arises, we wish it well and happy. Yeah, so it doesn't matter whether is it near or far, whatever you can detect, as long as new sensation arises, well and happy, new sensation arises, well and happy. So the more loving kindness you generate, the calmer the mind should get. This is the paradox of thinking. We call this skillful thinking. So any other kinds of automatic kind of thinking would be unskillful thinking, which leads to stray thoughts and daydreaming and whatever. So this skillful thinking lead the mind to more positive state, calmer state of mind, So in meditation, especially Buddhist meditation, there's no such thing as no thinking. Once you no thinking, then gone case. Go to dreamland. If you find your mind rather calm, you can take note of this state of mind, remember this emotion. Whole idea is not to cling, not to reject this emotion, you just take note when it's a byproduct, but keep generating loving kindness for every sensation. This is using loving kindness to develop concentration or calm. And later on we can add some insight or some wisdom into the practice, and we are going to reflect how to develop a more unconditional kind of loving kindness. That is to observe impermanence, practice detachment. Every sensation that you observe, you need to observe how it arises, how it passes away. So all formations, all sensations, all beings, all dharmas, they arise and they pass away. So you just observe the moment-to-moment sensations. No need to imagine how many years down the line or this certain being will change, will grow old. We've done that earlier, so this is real time, moment-to-moment impermanence. You need two factors. First factor is the observation. You need the evidence, whatever elements you can feel, that is your personal evidence. And the second factor is your reflection. You need to have something like a mantra in your mind, and they call it rising and falling, impermanence, change, birth and death, whatever label you want to use, keep on repeating. We call this the two-factor authentication. And whatever emotion you experience, just treat it as a byproduct, no matter how pleasant, how peaceful, always mindful of impermanence. Okay, so this is using loving kindness to cultivate both concentration and insight together. And now we're moving to the second sublime state, which is compassion. So loving kindness is to overcome anger, compassion is to overcome this cruelty. So in this compassion exercise, we are going to wish, may all beings be free from suffering. So no need to imagine any scenario, oh, this person is sick or this person is hungry, and how you're going to help this person and so on. So that is conventional kind of compassion, and mundane kind of compassion. Nothing wrong, but in daily life can be very draining. You need to worry how to help. Afterwards, you cannot help, then you feel guilty or remorseful and feel very sad, and next you have depression or burnout. So in this exercise, we are learning how to recharge the mind. So basically, we're using the moment-to-moment sensations. Whenever a sensation arises, we should free from suffering. New sensation arise, may be free from suffering. No need to over-dramatize anything. Huh? Keep cutting off at every contact. New element arise, and right thought. The element arise, apply the right thought. Don't need to go into any personalization and storytelling. So when compassion developed correctly, it should feel quite pleasant. Yeah? It is not the very sorrowful or depressing, sad kind of emotion. So you see the Kuan Yin statue, Kuan Yin is always smiling. You don't see Kuan Yin pulling a long face. Keep generating compassion for every sensation. Okay, so this using compassion to develop concentration or calm. And next we're adding some insight or reflection, how to overcome, not truly overcome suffering. So that is to practice detachment. Every sensation we need to observe impermanence, all formations, see how they arise and pass away all the time, every moment. Okay, so this using compassion to develop both concentration and insight. So currently I'm just running through the 4 sublime states rather quickly. In your own free time, do take the leisure to do it as long as you want. Yeah? Okay, and the 3rd sublime state will be this appreciative joy. So we are now going to rejoice in the accomplishments of all sentient beings. So this is to overcome jealousy. So no need to over-imagine. We're just using the here and now sensations. All beings will gain, new experience all the time. So every time we experience a new sensation, we can rejoice, observe new sensation, rejoice. And the more rejoicing we do, the mind should calm down, and that is using appreciative joy to develop concentration or calm. And we can now add some insight or wisdom and reflect. One day, all sentient beings will be separated from all that is dear and appealing to oneself. So every moment we just observe the sensations arising and passing all the time. No need to imagine, oh, this person will change how many years down the line. Maybe some of you may notice a similar pattern right from the beginning of the meditation. Whenever we take on the task of contemplating on impermanence, more or less the same protocol and the same phenomenon will occur. Once you detach, there should be some inner joy that arises at first from unloading the burden, unloading clinging, feel very happy, and whatever it is, keep being mindful of impermanence. And when the mind stills or calms down, also say mindful of impermanence all the time. The mind starts to feel calm and neutral. That's very normal. Yeah, if your joyful emotion like disappear, part of the evolution of impermanence. And then move on to the so it is using appreciative joy to develop concentration and insight. And lastly, we move on to the fourth sublime state, which is equanimity. And traditionally, we reflect on the topic of karma. So all beings are the owners of the actions, heir to the actions. Whatever good and bad that we do, we shall be the recipient. And so this equanimity is to overcome a restless mind. So again, for karma, there's no need to over-imagine, or in the past I've done this or that, or even in the past life I've done this or that, and this time I'm going to face certain consequences. So we're just using here and now sensations. Anytime a pleasant sensation arises, that is good karma ripening. Anytime unpleasant sensation arises, that is bad karma ripening. And if it's a neutral sensation, then a neutral karma is ripening. So in short, every experience is due to karma's ripening. And if you are reflecting correctly and if the mind calm down, you should be able to experience this emotion called equanimity. So there's no joy, no happiness, neutral but refreshing kind of emotion. I'm trying my best to describe it. So that's known as a unique kind of emotion. Always treat them as byproduct, focus on planting the seeds, generating or reflecting on karma every time. So this is using equanimity to develop concentration kind of equanimity. And now we're adding some insight or wisdom. We are going to reflect how to overcome these karmas. Every time good karma ripen, we feel happy. Bad karma ripen, we feel sad. So it's a mood swing all the time. So to overcome these karmas, we need to practice detachment. All feelings, pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral, they arise and pass away all the time. And we call this mindfulness of feeling. So you keep observing the impermanence of all the feelings, all sensations. Okay, so this is using equanimity to develop both concentration and insight. And before we conclude this session, just a gentle reminder from the Karaniya Metta Sutta that if a person were to maintain this boundless loving kindness or whatever sublime state, be it standing, sitting, walking, or lying down, and this is the highest kind of conduct. And with that in mind, we can gently open our eyes. We call this ending the formal session, but informally, we are still meditating all the time, even with eyes open. Okay, so we have gone over time a bit. Any questions or problems from anyone?
Sadhu, 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 Bhante.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bhante, for your this guided meditation. I think we will stop and try to follow your instructions. But before we do that, this Bhante has given us quite a few types of meditation techniques.
Yeah.
We do not actually follow all of them at the same time? We just pick one that we actually...
That also works. Yeah, if you want to specialize one, then do
Oh.
as long, any duration you wish.
Or we can actually follow Bante's order and do all of them.
Also can, yeah.
Also can. Yes, very good. So I think because we are over time, we'll just end this session. If we have any questions regarding this meditation practice, we will ask Bante either this afternoon or tonight.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, see you all this
Okay, yeah,
afternoon.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, brothers and sisters, please do not forget to log in before 4:30 p.m. for Bante's Dhamma talk entitled "How Can We Lay People Practice Towards Attaining Sotapaddi in This Very Life?" What must we do in our daily life, and what is the area of focus? Okay. So now let's bow 3 times to Bante. First bow, second bow, and third bow. So see you later. Have a insightful meditation. Sadhu.
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 Okay, see you all in the afternoon. Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bante.
Before 4:30, yeah.
Yes, Bante and everyone, can you stay back for a group picture, please?
Oh, okay, good for you.
Please on your camera, everyone.
Show your metta, yeah?
Okay.
I'm going to second page. Okay. Yes, thank you, everyone.
Okay.
We'll see
Okay,
everyone
thank you.
back at 4:30 this afternoon.
Yeah. Before
Okay,
Bye.
see you on
4:30.
to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye.